Thank you very much, Riv. We're joined by High and Sneaky of Cloud9. And I got to say, that entire game was a big play. So you guys fought an incredibly close match. You were down, even at the end of the game, 4,000 gold. So I actually want to ask you, did you even feel like you were down that far in the first place? And what kept you in it?
I personally didn't feel like we were that far down. I knew we were under gold after we lost that dragon fight and they took that Baron. But it wasn't enough for us not to win, basically. With Nidalee, you always have the chance of coming back, especially with Twitch. They just have I can't use that word. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know. They're just really annoying to play versus just because of the nature of their champions. So you always have ability to come back with those champions.
Yeah, let's talk more about Nidalee plus Twitch coming from Champion Select. Because you go with that last pick, Nidalee. Did you feel cornered into that champion? Usually people think of Nidalee as, oh, she likes to siege up, throw spears. Twitch doesn't necessarily like to siege up. How did this team comp come together towards the end of the pick ban phase this time around?
Well, normally Lemon takes care of most of the picks and bans. He'll always ask us for our opinions on what champions we like. So in champions like he's asking Sneaky if he likes X or Y champion. And he's asking me if I go with this champion or this champion. So we knew when we picked those two, they'd pick TF, which we're okay with. It's good for TF because he wins that lane and he can kind of destroy Twitch. But Nidalee is really good as well, just because if you do land a key spear or you get turrets, then you can win the game pretty easily. So.
And for Sneaky, about the beginning of the game, you guys went with a lane swap. There's a lot of things that go into lane swaps nowadays. Top lane matchups, duo lane matchups, also jungle starts. Can you go over why you guys went with the lane swap this time around?
A lot of it had to do with the Twisted Fate and Evelynn. They have a lot of pressure early, and if you're in standard lane matchups and TF hits 6, he'll just port on you and kill you. And the same with Evelynn. She provides insane pressure with just her invisibility. So she'll run around the map, and if it's on 2v1, she won't be able to gank off, unless it's mid. And if you're 2v2, she'll be everywhere and killing your entire team. So she has a lot more pressure than normal.
And speaking of those two champions as well, Twitch has got to have a pretty hard time fighting those guys in team fights as well. You never manage to get caught. How do you play around the fact that they're going to dive you every single fight?
It was honestly really hard. Just having the TF in the game was really annoying because I wanted to stealth onto people and go, but I knew the fact that Twisted Fate always has his ult up. I can't go in because he'll just port on me and kill me. So I just had to play back most of that game, and it kind of changes my entire Twitch playstyle. And in team fights, I have to be so far back and in stealth so I can run away when his port comes in. And actually, most of the time when he went in behind us, he didn't actually stun me, so it was okay. And if I had flash up, I was even more okay because then I can bait them even farther backwards.
There are so many good fights and so many good objective trades in this game. It was hard to find clips, but let's bring one up onto your screen here. This is the first one. This is going to be after a mid-turret fight, and then I believe this one ends up with the High versus everybody at the Baron Pit scenario. So this turns into a really exciting scenario. Walk us through that one.
So first off, we're poking. We have two of them at 50%, so we don't think they initiate, but they go for it anyway, and they get a 4 or 5 man Evelynn ulti on us, which is terrible. So now we're all stuck in one little group just getting killed. And
yeah, I had nowhere to flash out, so I had to go up, and then Double Lift just chased me through there.
Yeah, that was a really good flank from Silky.
They had an amazing initiate right there off of Dexter and Link, and we got punished for that. And then I think I just landed a few spears here to stop him from... Well, I didn't stop him from Baroning, but I tried my best. I think I get a kill, and then I kill myself after. I don't know, but...
Yeah, you kill Afro.
Why'd you choose to go in Cougar form instead of poking and getting him on the way out?
I didn't have another spear here, so at this point in time, I was like, screw it. I'm trying to take Baron and do a hero play, but I'm...
Off that E.
Yeah.
Triple kills.
So you're looking
very close.
You're looking for the Baron steal and not the kills.
If I was better at Nidalee, I probably could have killed them and gotten them, but I don't know. If that was a god Nidalee, they probably could have done it, but I did my best.
Such an exciting position to be in right there. And you definitely had some really good calls throughout the rest of the game in those objective trades.
Yeah, so then speaking about calls, right, because of course you're the primary voice in the team. I'm sure there's help from everyone else in C9 to a certain extent. But you have this game where you've always got to be afraid of flanks, always afraid of TF ults. And while you can ward for Evelynn, you can't ward for Twisted Fate. So how do you set up your team to be to always be ready for the flanks and always be in position when a fight can come out of nowhere?
Well, the only way they're going to win a fight is if they port on us, so we're aware of that fact. They can't charge at us. If they charge at us, they just die to my spears and Twitch. So obviously, they only have one goal, is to port behind us and either gold card me or Sneaky. And if me or Sneaky don't die, preferably him not dying, we can win the team fight pretty hard, because then TF will just die to everyone else, because he's in the middle of everyone, and he can't get out. So as long as we don't die, keep that in mind. I'm just telling everyone, protect Sneaky, don't let him die. and they just do their best. They like suicide themselves to protect them, and as long as Sneaky doesn't die in the fights, we win. Like that last fight, he killed Lucian somehow. I don't even know how that happened. And then we won pretty single-handedly because he didn't die.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about how many good clips we have.
Yeah, got another one.
Yeah, one of these ones where you guys start to make these trades where you are definitely behind in gold, but you start to come back into the game. Let's pull this one up on your screen. You end up going really deep into the base and grabbing a Nexus turret in this one.
Right, so I believe we have a lot of vision down at Dragon right now. We have a couple wards. We see 4 or 5 of them. So when they start trying to do Dragon, I'm calling Sneaky, hey, come middle with me. At that time, Midos called Lemon to bring him over because they're going to go mess with Dragon and or try to take it. So we have 2 people messing with their backs and trying to take Dragon. All the meanwhile, me and Sneaky are pushing mid. And then Link suicides himself and so does Afro, and then it just becomes a really bad trade for them.
You could pressure really hard right
We
here.
little overextended a little bit here, but we got a free turret out of it. I guess that's worth 1 death, I believe. So it was a really good trade for us, and they wanted Dragon too much. They should have given it up.
Did you know you had turret aggro the entire time, High, on this turret? Was that on
I was
purpose?
keeping aggro.
Was that on purpose?
Yeah. In hindsight, I probably wasn't that smart, but I wanted that turret to die, and I didn't think they could kill me. So, is misfortunate that I passed away here.
Yeah, it's being a 2 for 2 at the end of this one. Like, how do you make those snap decisions, though, to be like, I think we can go for Nexus here. I think we can at least get a turret.
I pressed tab and saw they had 30-second death timers.
You're like, 5v3, it's like, you just do the mental math in 2 seconds and say, this is the call.
All right, TF.
Everyone follows.
TF is their main wave play, right? I know Lucian's just going to ulti and like Q the wave, but I'm pretty sure we can just finish the turret and hopefully get out. We got out for a couple kills and deaths, but I knew we could take the turret at the very least. So
Yeah,
Now,
I think smart trade.
you and CLG are 2 of the teams that are probably the best in North America at making these late game trades where you have to make split decisions and there are very small margins that will determine who gets the better objective out of it. How does a team go about practicing that? Because a lot of other teams, this is the main thing that they're trying to improve on.
well, personally, for me at least, I think it's so in scrims or solo queue, I feel like you should always be making these risky calls. For example, like when they did Baron, that's a risky call. When we did Baron, it's a risky call. Or when we do trades, you get to learn what trades are good and what trades are bad. So for teams that don't do those trades and always play safe, they'll never know what they can or can't do. So in the past, I've done base chases before that haven't gone that well for me. Some people might know what that is. And so when you do things like that, it just teaches you more about the game and what you can do. And a lot of people don't try to do that. They don't see what their limits are, and they don't see what their team's limits are. And if they do that, they're able to make trades and understand what they can do. So
Yeah, definitely.
And you guys made a lot of really good choices. So, Sneaky, I want you to weigh in on our last replay here because you end up basically carrying the fight and making it work here. If you can pull the last clip up, it's the team fight that wins you guys the game. So talk to me about what you're focusing to start the fight out and then how you actually managed to kill off Doublelift with it as well.
So I saw that TF ghosted, so I knew they were going in, and no one actually saw me because his TF ult ran out, so I was just sitting invisible, and I just opened up, and they kind of ignored me. And I was able to just blast off on Doublelift and Link and Afro. So this is basically like a free triple kill. That
Also, I don't know if you noticed there, but that was a TF Flash Gold Card minion.
yeah, I flashed
Wait,
away
what?
at the moment he flashed in me, so he accidentally hit someone else instead of me. They're
was
going
minion.
hard for me, man.
That was really, really close.
Why is it, do you think, that they were targeting you more so than like Sneaky all the time?
They
You
couldn't
mentioned you
see Sneaky in that fight, so
were- Yeah, but in general, it seems like Sneaky was like not getting hit very much, you said.
I don't know. They just chose the wrong target. They had to kill him, not me.
Yeah, well, obviously, it worked out for you guys. So then, coming into this one, I actually talked to Meteos briefly before the game, and he was actually feeling pretty down, saying that you guys kind of suck, like it was like a really rough. He actually expected to lose this game. Was that a sentiment you guys shared coming into this game?
Well, practice, just since All-Stars, practice has been shaky. It hasn't been going that well. We've been having like some personal issues as well. So it's just like practice isn't going well. Morale's kind of down, and we're just kind of in a slump/bad mood right now.
Okay.
We need to fix that and get out of it, and we're trying to change things that we're doing as far as our schedule and resume so that people or players don't feel that way. But we're definitely in an interesting spot right now. It's probably one of our biggest lows since we've been a team. So.
Yeah, your recent losses to the teams that are in the lower end of the bracket are obviously probably the cause of a lot of that, those feelings. Are there any things that your team has come to a consensus on about those games? Have you guys gone over them, and do you have closure on what went wrong versus those losses to the teams that were lower in the standings?
Well, we haven't talked about the complexity game yet since it just happened, or EG game since that happened yesterday.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's worthwhile to talk about it when you have another game tomorrow. So we might go home today and talk about it, but we normally just have Charlie talk to us about it, tell us what went wrong in the game, or he'll just speak to you directly. So that way it's not confrontational or anything. But I don't know. The losses suck, so.
Well, of course, you guys still have 20 games to go in the season. You guys are an excellent team, of course. I'm sure you guys are going to bounce back. Guys, thank you for the time. Congrats on the win here, and we'll see you next week. But we've got more games to go on. We're going to jump into a quick break, and then our next battle is LMQ versus Complexity. The North American LCS continues in just a little bit.